All right, hey guys, this is take 2 of balloon rounding because I had a really great video going a minute ago and my phone started ringing in the middle of it.
Take 4.
My husband wants you to know this is actually take 4. All right, so I'm here to remind you of balloon rounding. This is something that a lot of us did last year in 4th grade. If you didn't do it last year, it's your first review of it. It's awesome. It's a great way to remember how to round. Otherwise, this should serve as a review for you. Take a look at this example. When you use a balloon to round, it's very similar to all the other methods that we've learned for rounding, and you've been rounding since 2nd and 3rd grade, so this is kind of an easy review for you. For instance, this example says 14,673. I'm going to round to the nearest 10. Because I'm rounding to the nearest 10, I've drawn a balloon around the 7 because it is in the tens place, and I've handed the string of that balloon to the nosy neighbor 3. When I look at that number, I think about holding onto a balloon with my fist, and the nosy neighbor is going to let go with however many fingers it says in the problem. In this particular example, it says the nosy neighbor is going to let go with 3 fingers. So if he lets go of the string of the balloon with 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3, the balloon doesn't go anywhere. It stays down. The number doesn't go up, so the number remains the same. So I know that if I'm going to round this number, I can use my balloon number to say that this number will remain a 7, and everything after it becomes a 0 because we're rounding, and the rounded number is 14,670. Take a look at this example. Round 36,754 to the nearest hundred. First thing I do is find my hundreds place, and I draw a balloon around it. Hand the string of the balloon to the nosy neighbor 5. I grab my balloon. My nosy neighbor's holding on with his fist, and he's going to let go with how many fingers? Right, 5. He's going to let go with 5 fingers because that's the number. So if I let go of this balloon with 5 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the balloon goes up. If that happens, I know that my number is going to go up. So this 7 is actually going to become an 8 because I let go with 5 fingers. The balloon raised up, so the number raises up 1. And everything after it becomes a 0. So if I round this number to the nearest hundred, the answer is 36,800. Take a look at this one. It says round 458,539 to the nearest 10,000. So I'm going to find my 10,000s place, draw a balloon around it, and hand my string to the nosy neighbor. I'm going to grab my trusty balloon here, and I'm going to let go with 8 fingers. Do I have 8 fingers on that hand? No. So I'm going to count until I get to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The balloon went up, so I know that my number is going to go up. So I know this 5 is going to turn into a 6, and everything after it turns into a 0, because when we round, everything after the digit that's in the place we're rounding to becomes a 0. So my answer is going to be 460,000. All right, last one. This one says round 9,648,987 to the nearest million. I'm going to round this to the nearest million. Found my million spot. I draw a balloon around it. I hand the string to the nosy neighbor. I've got my balloon. I'm holding on with my fist, and I'm going to let go with how many fingers? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the balloon did what? It went up, correct. So I know this 9 is going to become a 10. Since I cannot fit a 10 in this single place value, I know that the 1 is going to go into the 10 millions place. And everything after the digit in the place value I'm rounding to becomes a 0. So if I'm going to round this number to the nearest million, I'm going to get an answer of 10 million. So remember, the way that you use a balloon, when you figure out the place value you're rounding to, you draw a balloon around that digit. Hand the string of the balloon to the nosy neighbor to the right. He's the person who's going to decide whether or not the balloon goes up or stays the same. He lets go with however many fingers he is. So if he's a 2, he lets go with 2 fingers. If he's a 7, he lets go with all 5 fingers, plus a couple more if he happens to have extras. And that's what determines whether or not the number stays the same or stays down, or whether or not the number goes up. I hope this kind of gives you an image to remember what rounding with a balloon might look like.